Nobody tells you this part. Discipline doesn't usually fail because you're lazy. It fails because something is quietly undermining it from the inside. You can wake up early. You can plan routines. You can watch motivational videos. You can even start strong for a few days. And still, everything collapses. Not suddenly, but slowly. You start skipping small actions. You begin negotiating with yourself. You feel resistance toward things you know are good for you. And eventually, you tell yourself, I'll restart tomorrow. That's when people assume the problem is willpower. It's not. The real issue is that discipline cannot survive in an environment that constantly weakens the nervous system. There is one element, subtle, normalized, and socially accepted, that trains your brain to avoid effort, discomfort, and consistency. As long as it stays in your life, discipline will always feel heavy, forced, and temporary. You'll rely on motivation. You'll burn out quickly. You'll keep starting and stopping. Because discipline is not about how badly you want change. It's about whether your mind is trained to stay steady when things feel uncomfortable. And this thing does the opposite. It conditions your brain to escape, to seek relief, to avoid friction, until effort feels threatening and comfort feels necessary. Before you try another routine, another habit, another new version of yourself, you need to identify what's silently sabotaging everything. Because discipline doesn't fail randomly. It fails predictably. And once you see the cause, you'll understand why discipline has never truly worked. Until now. The thing that kills discipline is not failure. It's constant access to comfort. At any moment, you can escape discomfort. Scroll, snack, watch, sleep, distract, delay. Your brain learns a simple rule. Why tolerate effort when relief is one tap away? This rewires your nervous system in a dangerous way. Discipline requires the ability to stay inside mild discomfort without immediately removing it. But when comfort is always available, the brain never practices that skill. So, the moment a task feels boring, heavy, slow, or uncomfortable, your nervous system triggers avoidance, not because you're weak, because you trained it that way. Every time you escape discomfort, you reinforce this loop. Discomfort to escape to relief, to weaker tolerance over time. Even small efforts feel exhausting. Studying feels painful. Work feels overwhelming. Consistency feels impossible. That's why discipline doesn't stick. You're trying to build self-control in an environment designed to destroy it. As long as comfort is immediate and unlimited, discipline will always feel like punishment. Strong people don't have more motivation. They have fewer escape options. They reduce comfort on purpose. They delay relief. They force the brain to stay present. Because a mind that never learns to endure will never learn to lead. This is the part that confuses most people. You start disciplined. You feel focused. You promise yourself, this time is different. Then a few days pass. Energy drops. Resistance rises. The routine starts feeling heavy, and motivation disappears. Here's why. Motivation is emotional energy. Discipline is nervous system stability. When comfort stays dominant in your life, your nervous system never adapts to effort. So the moment the initial excitement fades, and it always does, your brain panics. It looks for relief. That's when you skip one day, make excuses, lower standards, tell yourself you'll reset later. Not because you stopped caring, but because your system was never trained to operate without emotional fuel. Discipline only works when action is no longer tied to mood, but comfort trains the opposite habit. I act only when it feels good. That's why routines break. That's why streaks die. That's why consistency feels unnatural. As long as your life is structured around comfort, discipline will always feel temporary. You're trying to build strength while feeding the weakness every day. And the brain always chooses what you practice most. Here's the shift that changes everything. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more techniques. You don't need a stronger personality. You need less comfort. Discipline starts working the moment effort becomes the default and comfort becomes delayed. This doesn't mean extreme suffering. It means intentional friction. Simple changes. No phone during boredom. No entertainment before work. No snacking without hunger. No scrolling as emotional relief. No easy outs during resistance. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Then something powerful happens. Your nervous system adapts. What once felt hard becomes normal. What once required motivation becomes automatic. Discipline stops feeling like force. It starts feeling like structure. And structure doesn't break under stress. As long as comfort stays unlimited, discipline will keep failing. Remove the escape. Delay the relief. Let your brain relearn one truth. I can stay inside effort without breaking. That's when discipline finally works, not because you try harder, but because the environment no longer makes weakness easy.